Hello, I'm Heidi with Onigo Crafting. Welcome to my craft corner. It is so great that you are here this evening. I'm excited to share some great products with you using the fabulous Hello Beautiful stamp. All right. So I'm trying this out with the earphones for the first time tonight, and it's already driving me a little bit crazy. So I'm going to take one out. Whew, let's see if that's better. Oh, I think that is. Two was just a little bit too much. We'll pop that back there. So I'm Heidi with Onigo Stamping. If you are joining me live tonight, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know that you're here. Welcome, Connie from Northern Wisconsin. And Carol Sue, welcome to you too. So glad you guys are here. Please let me know if there are any sound problems. So I've been having big sound issues, and I know that it is no fun watching videos with somebody who is having sound issues. So let me know if there are any weird echoes, anything like that. That's why I'm trying out the earphones tonight, but it is so different. So, all right. I'm going to get right started. I'm going to be using the Hello Beautiful stamp set tonight, and I love this stamp set. I'm going to be showing you how to make a locking gatefold card, or an interlocking gatefold card, some people call it. It's a really, really easy, fun fold, and it is great to use. And we're going to be using the mini cut embossed machine tonight. So I'm excited to share that with you too. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Kimberly. I'm so glad you are here. Kimberly, I don't know if you saw that the other night during mystery stamping, I shared the fabulous card that you sent me. I loved it so much that I had to share it with everybody. So it was great. Thank you. All right. So the Hello Beautiful stamp set is part of the Abstract Beauty Suite. All right. This is on page 48 and 49 of the January to June mini catalog. Hi, Kath. And you can see it's just this great stamps. And there are some fun embellishments. There's paper. We're going to use some of this paper on the second card that I'm doing tonight. But mostly we're using the stamps and the dies. So let me set this aside. Just throw that on the floor. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to actually show you the card that we're making so that you can see what this gatefold is. You know what? I'm wondering if I even need this light. Tell you, lights and sound and everything else. I'm echoing. Now I am wondering when that started and it's all cleared up. All right. I have no idea, you guys. So rough. All right. This is the card that we are making. It is a locking gatefold card. So when you open this, you can see it's a gatefold and it just pops apart like that. So really fun and easy. I'm going to show you how to make this. And of course, I'm working on a blog post right now that is going to have all of the dimensions and photos, and the supply list and everything is going to be over there. It's just not quite done yet. So give me like an hour after we get done tonight. All right, let's tell you, things are trying to fall apart here. All right. So I pulled out my paper trimmer because what I want to do is I have a piece of cardstock. This is Pool Party cardstock, and it is 5.5 by 8.5. What I'm going to do is I am going to score this at 2 1/8 inch. So I just put this right up here. Now the teeny tiny lines, those are 1/16 inches. And then like the not quite so tiny, but still small lines are the 1/8 inches. So I'm going to score this at 2 1/8. And of course the scoring blade is the light gray blade. So we'll just score that just like that. when I am making a gatefold card, I prefer just to score one side, because if you make a little mistake with your scoring and you don't get it quite in just the right spot, if you if you only score one side, then you don't run into that problem. So what I do is I score one side and then fold that side over. And then the second side, I just bring it right up to that edge and I kind of push it really good there. And then I'll just take my bone folder and fold that side down. And that helps me get a really nice fold on my gatefold card so that they really, match up. So that is how I'm going to start. I'm going to go ahead and do some stamping on this. I'm going to pull out my Pool Party ink pad, if I can get it out. So here we go. Maybe this, you guys, I apologize for the light. It's not great. Hopefully that's better. All right, so I'm going to grab my Pool Party ink pad. Now here is the stamp set. I have already put it on blocks, but isn't it fun? It's just all these great abstract pieces, and then there's some really great sentiments too. So go ahead and set that aside, and I grabbed one of these blobs. It kind of looks like, I don't know, like a brush stroke, like you took your brush with paint on it and you just went doop, 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 doop. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp it off on my paper. And then I'm going to stamp it onto my cardstock. And I'm going to kind of do this randomly on the front. And when I'm making this card tonight, I kind of want to make it just in this corner. I'm going to leave this part up here blank. So there we go. And let's just do just a little bit more right there. All right, so that's my blobs, and that's really hard to see. They're just very light. And then I want to go ahead, I'm going to take this one, which I don't know what it is. It looks like maybe it could be like fish scales, little teeny tiny mountains. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to go ahead and ink this up in Pool Party as well. And I'm just going to kind of add this to the front of my card. And I like to put it, it doesn't have to be in the same spot in every blob, but I like it to be near the blob, if that makes sense. It just kind of helps create like this image on here. Not really an image, I guess, but yeah. An abstract image. All right, I'm going to set the Pool Party ink aside for just a minute. I'm going to grab my Pear Pizzazz ink pad. And then I have the little stamp that is 3 little X's. And I'm going to go ahead and add this into my abstract image as well. So sometimes I will do one, sometimes I'll do multiples. It really kind of just depends. I like to kind of go in a grid pattern though. You'll notice everything that I'm doing is very, perpendicular, right? It doesn't go at angles and things. I like to keep it nice and straight. Just kind of my own personal preference. All right. So there are, I'm going to just add one right there. It just looked like it needed one. All right. And I'll put my Pear Pizzazz ink away and grab my Pool Party again. Because I'm going to add one more thing to these blobs, which is this like line. It's like a underline. I don't know. And I'm just going to come and add this in full force, kind of in relation to that green. So it's almost like I'm underlining part of the X's. I don't know. Such a weird thing to talk about. All right. So there is kind of this abstract design. While I have this out, while I have all the ink colors and stuff out, I'm going to grab the piece of basic white that I have for the inside. This is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I'm going to grab that stamp again. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it off and then stamp it down here. And then I'm going to add those fish scale things again. Let's put those right up there. And we'll grab the pear pizzazz. And let's add some little X's. So maybe like that. There's no rhyme or reason. We'll put the pear pizzazz away. And I'm going to ink up that like underline again. And I'm just going to add it right there. So that just adds this nice little abstract design on the bottom of the inside of the card as well. I'm going to set that aside. And now we need to do some embossing and some die cutting. So I'm going to pull in my mini cut and emboss machine. That doesn't quite fit in the frame of my camera. So I apologize for that. I want to grab my number 1 plate. And I'm going to start by doing some embossing. So I have a piece of, hopefully I have a piece. Will I cut it? I think my piece disappeared. I think it got put back. Oh no. And I'm like stuck. I'm like stuck to this machine. You guys, we are ditching the headphones. I'm just going to take those out because those were keeping me stuck to my machine here. All right, we'll throw those aside. Sorry for the little earthquake there. Now let me grab my piece of pool party cardstock. I don't know where it went to. It just like up and disappeared. So let's see. And of course now I don't find it like in here. This one should work. So let's just cut this real quick. Yeah, I'm doing everything. I just dropped my plate on the floor. This is going to be 1.5 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. And then I'm going to have to go retrieve my plate off the floor. What a day. You know, one of these times, these lives are going to go right. I'm not going to have all these mess ups. So, all right, my microphone is going to get a little bit goofy here for just a minute. You're probably going to get some bumps. But I can't do the embossing without without the plate. So I had to go get it. All right, sorry about that again. All right, so now I have my little mini cut and emboss machine. I'm going to go ahead and set my number 1 plate on there. Now, for this, I'm using the Stripes embossing folder. This is part of the Stripes and Splatters embossing folder pack. It is 3D, and it is sized to fit in the mini cut and emboss machine. So we're just going to line that up. I'm going to put that on my plate, or on the plate number 1. And then I actually want to grab, you can do this right, I'm going to grab the number 4 plate, because this is a 3D. We'll go ahead and stick it in there and then get this started. And then I just need to hold down my machine. It's very lightweight, which is really good for traveling. But ooh, my plate slid. It's okay, I think. But it means that it also like squiggles around when you're trying to use it. So you definitely have to hold on to the top of it. So we'll just set those aside. And there is my embossed piece. So this piece, I'm going to go ahead and add this to the front of my card with some multi-purpose glue. So we'll go ahead and just put a little bit of the green glue on here. And then this goes right on my card front. And I'm going to put this just kind of off to the side. I think I'm going to put it all the way off to the side. So just like that. You can tell me which one you like better, because on the sample card, I didn't do that. So you let me know. All right, we're going to get that right up to the fold. So just like that. Now I want to add some little hexagons on here. Let me show you the dies for this set. Here are these dies, and I just think that these are so awesome. They're such great shapes, and they're a perfect size, and they will work in the mini machine as well. So I'm going to cut these from the Flowering Fields Designer Series paper, and I just grabbed this piece that's like Pear Pizzazz, kind of old olivey color, and Pool Party. And that's what I'm going to cut. I'm going to use these little hexagons right here, so I get to cut 2 at once, because I think I want 4 or 5 of these. So we'll go ahead and put this on here. Now this time I want to grab my number 1 plate. I grabbed all the right plates. So I want my number 1 plate. Okay, and then we'll put in a piece of this Designer Series paper. Oh, no, sorry, forgot my cutting plate. Tell ya, I think tonight I would forget my head if it was not attached. So I'm gonna put my number 2 cutting plate on there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and set my Designer Series paper. And then I'm gonna grab my other number 2 plate to go over the top. So 1, 2, paper die 2. And we'll go ahead and roll this through as well. And hopefully it's not giving you too much of a shaky screen. All right, there we go. And this is just going to give me some really fun little hexagons. And I want to cut like 6 of these, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. And I kind of want to get some different colors in there. So while I maybe could, move that down and get right up to the edge, I kind of like, with this paper, I like to choose what I want to get, right? Which colors, because it's so pretty. What do you think? Do you guys have this paper yourselves? Have you tried out the Flowering Fields Designer Series paper? I think it is so, so pretty. There's so many pretty designs. And then there's these, just general background papers that are just awesome as well. So I've been really enjoying it. All right. Let's go with this one. I'm going to do kind of this dark blue and the green. Let's see what we get. We'll line those up again and go ahead and cut them out. Ugh. Give that a good squish through there. All right, there is quite a bit of die cutting on this card, so it is going to take me just a minute, but I'm going to do it all at once, I think. So there's all those hexagons. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to grab a piece of Pear Pizzazz cardstock, and I'm going to put that right on there as well. Just moving some things out of the way. And I want to get the largest hexagon. Okay, I'm going to use the largest hexagon, and I'm going to use the next largest hexagon. Oh, no, grab the wrong one. And then I want to use the next largest hexagon. So I'm using the 2 biggest hexagons, and we're just going to line those up on there, get them nice and hopefully well lined up. Even border. And I'm just going to grab a sticky note, and I'm going to pop a sticky note right over the top of that, just like that. And then we'll go ahead and stick the top on, again, at number 2, and we'll roll this through again. Whoa. Ka-thunk. And what this is going to do is this is going to give me a little Pear Pizzazz hexagon frame. All right, so we'll set that aside, and there's the extra piece. We'll just pop that aside too. I want to grab my old olive, and I'm going to use the second largest size, so not the largest one, the second largest one. And we'll go ahead and just cut this out, and then I just have one more piece to run through here. You have some from the paper share, but you haven't used it yet. Oh my goodness, it's like my favorite paper. This catalog, I guess we'll say. All right, and now I'm going to grab a piece of basic white, and I want to use one size smaller of the hexagons. So each size gets a little bit smaller. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to flip over my plates. You always want to make sure that you're flipping your plates and that you're moving around where you're cutting. That helps keeps your plates nice and flat because they are going to want to warp a little bit. And that's okay, they'll still work, but if you flip them and you move around where you're cutting, it is going to help keep them flatter. All right, so we'll run this last hexagon through, just like that. And then we can finish putting this card together. All right, so here's my basic white hexagon. I want this to go this way with the point sticking up. And I'm going to stamp, this calls for a celebration on here. I'm going to use my old olive. For some reason, I haven't put the stickers on my old olive yet, which means I have trouble finding it on the shelf. And I'm just going to stick this right on here. And if you don't know what I mean by stickers, let me show you. So here is the old olive ink pad. There's a spot right here, okay, where you pull, and then there's a spot here, and you could even put one here too. And there are these stickers on the back. Now they're meant that you put this one that says old olive, that's going to go right here so you can see what it is on your shelf. And then this blank one down here is to go in that spot on the inside, right here on the inside of your ink pad. I like, because, you know, why not learn some languages while we're doing this? I put the English one on the outside front, and then I put the green one on the inside. And then I put the German one on the back side. So I'm going to do a little bit of learning with my stamping as well. All right, where's this card? Come here, card. So here's my card. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to start by adhering the basic white to the piece of old olive. So just put a little bit of the green glue on there. And this goes right on here on this old olive. Just like that. Oops. It's trying to move around on me. Now, I want to adhere my pear pizzazz to my card front. All right, I want to put it like this because then this piece is going to go right in here. But I only want to put adhesive on this side. All right, so I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to take my green glue and just put a little bit of adhesive right on that skinny edge, just on one half. And then we'll take this and I'm going to line these points right up with my cut on the front. And we're just going to adhere that. And I'm just going to take this block and set it over top. Now the white piece, I only want to adhere on this side. What I do here is I will actually just put my glue right here on my card front. I know it's going to go inside the hexagon, just like that. And then I can take my hexagon and just slide it right in there. And hopefully get it in just the right spot because it's going to fit just perfectly. And we're just going to let that dry for just half a second, just so that we know it's good and down. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to come in here with some of these little die cut hexagons because they're kind of my last little hurrah that I want to add to my card. You wouldn't eat them, but I don't know, I just kind of liked them. So I'm going to put this one, I think, like right here. Okay. And then I'm just setting this one right here. I'm not going to glue it down. I'm just going to set it there. Because then I'm going to come in here with this one. And this is just because I'm a little bit, you know, I'm a little bit, I don't want to say it, but I'm kind of particular. And I like it that they actually like are the right distance apart, even though there's not going to be anything there. I don't know. It makes me happy. So, and then I can just move this one out of the way. And we'll add it back up here. So this one is going to come right in here. Just glue right there. All right, and then I want to add two more up here. I think I'm going to add this one So let's see. Let me see. How about this way? So I was like, which way do I want to glue this? So this we'll put right up here. Maybe right there. And of course, I'm covering up some of that beautiful design that I stamped earlier, but that's okay. That's kind of the point. And then we'll bring in this last piece, and it's just going to go right up here. So there we go. Now, of course, I want to take my paper snips, and I'm just going to turn my card over and just snip these off. Much easier than cutting them and trying to fit them in the right spot. Just be careful not to cut your folds. Ask me how I know. You wouldn't think that you could do that, but you could totally cut your fold. All right. So there's the outside of the card, and then it just opens just like that. And we can go ahead and put that inside, right inside. And this is going to be card number 1. Now, I'm going to show you how to put together another card that's just a little bit different. It's a little bit easier. There's a lot less die cutting and stuff, and I kind of pre-cut a bunch of the pieces for you already, or for myself, I should say. So there we go. There is our first card. Isn't that fun? Just a little locking gatefold card. It, of course, is not, it's not going to super stay, but depending on what dies you use for it, some of them stay a little bit more than others. All right, let me move some of this stuff out of the way so I can pull in the pieces for my next card. Get all this going. Now, I decided what would happen if the gatefold was a little bit off center, right? So that gatefold is right on center, but I was like, well, what if it wasn't in the center? What if it was off center? So then I had to try it, of course. So here I have a piece of Magenta Madness cardstock. It is 8.5 by 5.5. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and put this inside, and now I'm going to score it at 1 7/8. All right, so 1 7/8. Before it was at 2 1/8, so it's just a little bit off. It's not a lot off. But I think it just kind of adds a little bit of fun to it. All right. Thank you, Kimberly. I'm glad you like it. I do love those hexagons. Those hexagons too. They're really great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fold this and give it a good crease. And then again, I'm going to pull the other side. This also makes it really nice. I only have to measure once. We'll just line those two up and then give this a good fold too. And now you can see my gatefold's just a little bit off center. Kind of fun. Now I have some of the abstract, what is it called? Abstract Beauty Designer Series paper. This paper is so gorgeous. If you have not seen it yet, it is a different size. It's 4 by 6, which is really great if you're using like the Memories and More card packs. And this has kind of been cut into, but look at all these gorgeous abstract designs. And they have the gold touches on there. And then, of course, the other side is just, no gold on the other side, but some really fun patterns as well. So really cool paper. And I pulled out the gold polka dots and then an abstract design. I think it's so pretty. And I cut some pieces of gold foil. So this piece of gold foil, it is, let me see, 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. And this piece of polka dot is 1.5 by 5 1/4. And I am just going to glue this together. These are not both 5 1/4. I don't know what I was thinking. The polka dot is 1.5 by 5 inches, I believe. I hope I cut this right. Let me see, 6. Oh, no. It is 4 3/4. I just didn't write down the right measurements. Did that later after I cut it. All right. Now I'm just going to line this right up on the edge, on one edge of my cardstock of that gold foil. Isn't that pretty? And we're just going to put this right on the front. just like this. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I just love it. I'm just going to open this up so I can make sure that I get it right up flush to the edge. There we go. And then I have another piece of gold foil. This is 2 1/8 by 5 inches. And we're just going to adhere this to the front. Now this time I'm putting the gold on the front first because I want to make sure that I get the pattern paper lined up in the right spot. So I want to make sure everything is just, you know, perfectly aligned. And I think I missed a little bit there, but that's okay. There we go. And then we'll take this piece. And this is 2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And of course, all of these measurements are going to be on my website in probably like maybe an hour. So you'll definitely be able to find them over there. And the link will be in the description to this video. So you'll definitely be able to go over there and find those. So I'm just lining that all up. So I have this nice kind of fun design on the front. And then, did I not? Oh, I know what I was going to do. So I'm doing this one just a little bit different. I cut out a Magenta Madness hexagon and I cut out a gold hexagon. I'm going to adhere the gold hexagon to the Magenta Madness hexagon. So I kind of wanted this one, the gold, to like pop up. So I did it this way, which is just a little bit different. And then I'm going to pull it in my die cut machine. We do have to do one little cut on this. So again, I have my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. The name's really long. My mini boss. And I'm going to grab my number 1 plate. And then I have my cutting plate, which is a number 2. And I always use the same one for cutting. So we'll just go ahead and put that down. Then we have my cardstock. And then I'm going to use the smaller size, right? That 3rd size down from the top. And I'm going to line this up, kind of try to center it on my gold hexagon. And then grab my sticky note. If I can, yeah. And let's see. Just put that right on the top to hold that in place, hopefully. And grab my other number 2. Slide that on top, hold those together, and then start pushing that through. Oh, strength. You have to get strong to do this. So, all right. Boom. Just like that. And we'll pull this apart. This card is actually almost done now. You know, I did get a line from my sticky note, but that's okay because that piece is going away. And there's the piece that we're actually going to use. And I have another piece of white that I cut using that same size. So you can see that this fits right in the center here. I'm going to grab my thank you stamp and my Magenta Madness ink. You guys, I'm going to miss this color when it is gone. I love the Magenta Madness. It is one of the 2020, 2022 in colors, which means that in just a couple months, it is going to be retiring. If you love this color, and you want to make sure that you have cardstock and everything in it, make sure that you get it basically before April, because all of the ink colors, all the outgoing ink colors, they go on to while supplies last status once the retired list comes out. So the retirement list is coming out March 25th, I believe, sometime around there. And once that does, then all of the retiring ink colors will be while supplies last only. So if you really like those colors, right now is really the time to stack up on those. All right, and I just added some Mango Melody, 3 little X's. I know, I love that gold and magenta too. Isn't that pretty? Oh. All right, this one, we're gonna go this direction. And once again, I only want to glue on one side. So what I like to do is I just like to turn that over and I put it where I kind of want it. This just helps me not get glue in places where I don't want it. Because I can see where the line is. So we're just going to put the glue on there. And then I flip that back over, flip it up, and I can glue it down. And hopefully it's straight. There we go. And hopefully my gold, the gold didn't get enough glue. I'm going to glue just a little bit, put just a little bit of glue under here because I didn't get close enough to the edges on that, on my gold hexagon. And it is wanting to come apart from the magenta, and that is not what we want. All right, so once again, I'm just going to close this up, and I'm going to add some green glue right in the center. And then we'll add the thank you right over top. Now you could stamp another, design for the inside, just like we did on the other one. I'm not going to do that right this minute, but we're just going to hold that down. I think I got some glue where I didn't want it, and so it's kind of being persnickety, but there we go. So it does open just like that. It's just in a little bit different spot. Now for this one, I did want to add just a few little embellishments because I love sparkle. I don't know about you guys, but I love things that go bling, bling, bling. So I have the gilded gems, and I think these look fabulous on here. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm just going to add like 3 of these over here. Let's put one right here. And then we'll just put another one right there. And a third one right down here. Isn't that fun? So there is the second card. I do have one more card sample to share with you. Well, I can never stop. Y'all, if you didn't know that, I cannot stop. Here is another one that I did. This one is in Highland Heather. I almost said lavender lace. It's in Highland Heather. And here, look at this, what I did. So it's got that circle on the front. The circle is your locking gatefolds. And I did this one off center as well. And it's a little bit hard to close but it does. There we go. And then I added this, I Miss Your Face. And it's only adhered over here too. So it opens right with that. Isn't that cool? I thought that one was kind of fun. Something a little bit different. So there is that. And those are my locking gatefold cards. So I hope that you have enjoyed this tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad that you are here. And I hope that you will come back again next week, next Thursday night at 8 p.m. for another live demonstration. If you are not currently receiving my newsletter every week, make sure that you sign up for my newsletter because every week I send out a free written tutorial and you don't want to miss that. So make sure if you're not getting my newsletter already that you go ahead and sign up for that. Thank you so much, Kimberly. And thank you to everyone else. I will see y'all next week. Have a fabulous, fabulous evening and have a great weekend too. Bye-bye.